Hey, hi everyone. Hope you are doing good. So today I'm going to discuss the interview procedure for the Thoughtworks India for the UI role. So recently I have been interviewed for the Thoughtworks India and cleared all the rounds. So I have joined Thoughtworks as well. So many people were requesting me to share the interview procedure, how the rounds were at the Thoughtworks for the UI role, what kind of questions were being asked. So I thought I'll make a video over it and share with all the people. Okay, going forward, like I'm going to discuss the job details. So the position which I have been applied and shortlisted was the consultant UI developer. The experience required for this position is in between 2 to 5 years, and the package you can expect is in between 10 to or the 11 to 15 LPA. But yeah, it's totally depends on your experience and the expertise. Yeah, and like I cannot assure you the same like you will get in this range or not. Yeah. So next, yeah, the interview rounds. So there were the six interview rounds, four technical and the two non-technical. So the procedure for me was happened like I have applied via the LinkedIn. So recruiter reached out to me and explained the role and all those things, and so he explained me the procedure. So it was similar to kind of this. So assignment, then code pairing, then JavaScript, then framework round, and then the two non-technical. The first round was the coding assignment, and like yeah, recruiter will ask you for the 2 hours slot in which you are comfortable in, and this assignment needs to be completed in these 2 hours only. So like the example could be, it could be a web page so on which there is an image and there is some content, and so you have freedom to select your framework. Then you can select the framework and like do the coding assignment in that 2 hours. You can use like you have the access of the internet, so you can use the Google for like searching things, and you can prepare assignment in 2 hours, and it is expected to like complete at least 60 to 70% of this assignment. If that is not the case, then it would be an like elimination round. But yeah, it is expected to complete 60 to 70% an assignment. So once this assignment is completed within the 2 hours, you need to upload the SRC. Yeah, and the second round then happens is the code pairing round. So whatever assignment, so like maybe if you having the assignment onto the Sunday, then the code pairing round will you will have on Monday, Tuesday, maybe depends on the interviewer slot. But yeah, it will be after the 1 or the 2 days. So into the code pairing round, what would be the discuss that I am going to tell you. So it would be one-on-one discussion. So like interviewer will make you comfortable and then ask the question like why you use this tag, then what approach you have followed, how you like how you structure the problems into the smaller chunks, and like how you approach the problem. So this kind of questions gonna ask. So like for assignment you have 2 hours, and for coding pairing round it would be an discussion of around 1 to 1.5 years. So what coding practices you followed, what quality, then improvement, so how you achieve the responsiveness, so would you be able to do that? If not, so how you can achieve the responsiveness. Let's say if you have completed the 70% of the part of the coding assignment during those 2 hours, but you were not able to complete the rest 30%. So what would be your ideas for that 30%? Can you implement? If yes, then he will ask you to upload the same project, and like he will ask you to open the same project into the Visual Studio Code and do the rest of that 30%. Or if you were not able to do that, then if you are not able to do that, then he'll ask at least approach, what approach you can go for. You have completed the assignment but you were not able to complete the, let's say, two features. Let's say this is an assignment, so you were able to complete like web view, but you were not able to achieve the responsiveness for the mobile application. So into the code pairing route, it can be the discuss how you can achieve the responsiveness for the mobile view as well. Yeah, and then like why you choose which framework, then what best practices you followed. If you have used any component like the Angular you have used, so have you created the custom component, how you utilize those, then have you created the service. So like what are the importance of service, why can't you have directly mock data. So it would be a general discussion around the coding question which you have completed or the assignment you have completed. Yeah, so this is the second. Starting with the third round, it is the like most important round for the UI developers. As we know, the JavaScript is based. No matter how much you are good at the like framework, but like if you are not good at the JavaScript, you will struggle with the framework. So it is the important round where the advanced concepts of the HTML, CSS, and the JavaScript are being checked. So yeah, like this is the third round. So for me, like yeah, it may, the questions may differ for the each person, but for me it was something like that. He asked me about the project, like how, what project I have worked on, what is my previous experiences, some counter question over that part, what was my contribution in the project, like what module I have implemented, if that module I have implemented or not. Like he was checking by going in depth. So he started with the JavaScript in the first. Then he started with the questions like the hoisting, what is the difference between the layer where late where and the const, then the scope, so how the variables are being stored, how the variables are being hoisted. Then he started with the questions like the event loop, then counter question over that event loop question, like the, so like for the event loop you can refer the Akshay Saini's video. So that is the best video I have ever seen on the event loop. And there is one more video like what the hell is over event loop, so that is also available over the YouTube, so you can refer that. And so there were some hands-on questions also like that. So like I have some API calls into the array. So like I have given here one example. So ID is 1, then time is 3000, and some ID 2, time 1000, ID 3, and time 5000. So I want to print these IDs into the order. Like let's say if I have to, so like you can use anything, but like if the time is being 3000 seconds, so still the ID 1 should be printed first. So if the ID 2 should be like if we can see with the help of the set timeout, if the 3000 then 1000, and then the 500 milliseconds, so ID 3 will be printed first, ID 2 will be printed later on, and then ID 1 will be printed at the last. But they wanted me to use the concepts of the JavaScript, and they wanted the ID 1 as the first to be console log, then ID 2 to be console log, and then the ID 3 to be console log. So yeah, I have used the promises async await and like promises and solve these questions. So they asked me about the debouncing and throttling as well. So into the debouncing, throttling, so I explained them the concept. They asked me for the examples. So yeah, I provided them the examples as well, and later on they asked me to implement debouncing into the code pen. So yeah, like I done that too as well. So onto the code pen, so I have explained them the example of the Flipkart. Like whenever we type of the type of, for the each keystroke there is a no API call. So once we stop, then and there only there is a API call. So I explained those concepts and implemented as well via screen sharing into in front of them into the code pen. Yeah, later on they started with some of the questions of the HTML, like the semantic tags. So what are the semantic tags, what is the difference between the inline and the block level elements, so what tag could be used for the situation. So let's say there was one example, so which tag would be better for the switch on and off. So if you want to implement the functionality like the on and off, so what tag would you suggest us? So yeah, so I didn't have like click that thing in that time, but yeah, it was the checkbox. So like you can think of the checkbox as a on and off, so that tag could be the use. So yeah, similar questions of the HTML, I don't remember all the questions, but yeah, similar questions of the HTML key regarding the padding, so for CSS as well, key like what are the different types of the position, what is the differences between them, absolute, static, then Z index, what will happen to if I'm able to use the Z index for the absolute. So how can I overlap, how can I create a circle with the help of pure CSS and HTML. So those kind of questions were there. And also there was like he were asking me to do it in front of them with the help of whichever tool you are comfortable, either the code pen or the JS Fiddle. And then other questions like how can you tell me the multiple ways vertically and horizontally aligning the div. So not only one way, like giving the margin or giving some giving something. So he wanted some multiple ways, like one could be the flex box, then we can have the width and then margin, and then we can have grid as well. So there are the multiple ways how we can center the div into the vertically, and the horizontally we can center that div. Yeah, and then last question was for the closure. So he asked me the complete question, then the application and the advantages of the and the disadvantages of the closure. Okay, once you are done with the JavaScript round, that's the elimination round. So if you are able to go through it, then next round would be the round four. So that is based on to the some framework security and the CSS, hands-on CSS. So like, oh yeah, so he started with the first question, ki, like which framework have you worked on? So I said Angular. So basis that he started asking the question, so what are the advantages and disadvantages of using Angular, how Angular bootstraps. So there may be, so it like discussion went around for the 10 minutes, so asking about the new Angular releases like the Ivy and all, what are the benefits of using Ivy, so how it minimizes the build and all. So discussion went around the 10-15 minutes, and later on he started with the security part. So yeah, he asked about the service and all those questions as well, ki why the services are useful, how the component communication between the different components happen, how, like what are the different ways. So like there are the services, then we can have the subjects, then we can have the NJRX as well. So there are the multiple ways which I explained for the component communication. So that was regarding the Angular part, so dependency injection as well. Later on he came to the security part, ki like have you implemented. Yeah, so I was aware of the JWT and I have implemented in my previous organization. So I explained them how what is JWT. Then discussion went pro around 15 minutes over the JWT, what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages, how we can make it more secure, so what kind of attacks can happen. So there are the excesses and other attacks that can be happen, and there are some prevention techniques as well. So what is the CSP, that is the content security policy, and how you like how you guys used to store the token. So like for the JWT, we backend used to send the token, and that we need to store the front end. So there are the multiple ways we can go with the cookie, local storage, and the session storage. So we have a very healthy discussion over this topic, and like he liked my security point of view and those the knowledge over the JWT. Yeah, so that was a plus for me. So later on we went to again Angular, and then he started asking me about the interceptor, what are the interceptors in Angular. So interceptor, like in JWT also, to set the HTTP header, like to send the token into the header, we need the interceptor, and also with the help of interceptor we can handle the global error as well. So yeah, I explained those are the advantages of the interceptor. Yeah, so like then the like the discussion went to the how we can improve the performance of the Angular application. So there are the various topics like the lazy loading, preloading, and then we can use the we can use the pure pipe. So I explained those the like I explained those the application, ki how we lazy loading can improve the performance, how we can convert them single module into the small chunk of modules, and we can load only required module onto the page load, so that could save the performance. So we can implement preloading as well for rest of the modules. Yeah, so I explained those concepts and pipe, and then we have the direct by put into the ng4. So I explained those concepts to them and how the performance can be improved with the help of those concepts. Yeah, so then he started with the CSS. So it was a hands-on question. So we like I have to create a grid. So like a grid was for the mobile view and the desktop view, both views were given, and I have to create a grid. So that should be the responsive, and that should achieve both the views. Like let's say if we have some application that is shown different into the web, and it is shown different into the mobile application. So this kind of grid and the borders were given, and I have to convert those with the help of either Flexbox or the CSS grid. But I was more comfortable over the CSS grid, so I chose the CSS grid and converted that. Yeah, so it was the last fourth round. So after that there are the two rounds, so the leadership and the social change round. So I really like the Thoughtworks interview process. So they don't only like assess you based on your technical skills as well, but your opinions, your thoughts about the society, and your quality, your problem solving approach. They do consider these things as well. So yeah, so leadership round, so it was like the general discussion, then future goals, why I wanted to join the Thoughtworks. So if there has been certain issue, how can I handle, or if there has been certain production issue, or like a general topic. So if there isn't some problem, how can I approach that problem. Yeah, so it was a really good. Talking about the sixth round, it was a social change. So it was not actually an interview, it's a general discussion. So what are the social issues into the society, so men and women are not being equally paid. So what are your views on this point? Or maybe the other issues could be the like only girls needs to take care of the household activities. Yeah, even though we are progressing over those points, but yeah, so these were the similar kind of questions were been asked, or so where you can put your opinion or you can put your view. So there is nothing right or wrong answer in this round, so it's a general discussion, and also how we can contribute to make the society a better place to live. So yeah, it was a healthy discussion for around 1 hour,